What's up, everybody? How y'all doing today? Well, I just wanted to bring y'all, I just love this bag so much. I don't know if I already did a video on it, and maybe I did an old one, but it is worth, mentioning again. And this is the Maxpedition Fat Boy. I love, love, love this bag. You know, um, I had one of these before when I was on the job in New York. And that bag lasts me between 15 and 20 years. Between 15 and 20 years. Not a zipper broke. The only thing that had broke was this little piece right here. This is the only thing that had broke. Um, but for 15 years, that bag did me well. Now, my younger nephew, he liked that bag too. And, he goes fishing with me or whatever. And so I said, well, you need you a bag. And so I gave him that one, to hold now. He's a young kid, so it's not going to hurt him. But I'm going to tell you guys, I went and bought the same bag back again. And this bag is phenomenal. This is not a quick draw bag. You can keep a weapon inside of it, but it's not a quick draw bag. It's not for quick draw. This is for having something, off your person. And I usually keep my firearm back here. Inside here, it has like a Velcro patch. The soft Velcro is inside. So if you found you a holster that had the Velcro on the back, and you could put it in here, you could fit a full-size firearm in here. So I carry either my CZP07. I have carried my CZP10F. That's a big gun. Carried it back there, absolutely no problem. You have a light pouch, magazine pouch. Oh yeah. I hope I didn't lose my flashlight. I believe in keeping more than one source of light with me, like 2 flashlights, just like I keep 2 knives. I have an open blade knife. I have a folder, and there's a knife within this utility knife thing. It's a pliers, all of that other stuff is in there, and comes in very helpful. This is my junk bag. I keep odds and ends in here. Believe it or not, this bag has been, absolutely phenomenal for me. Your bag may not be set up like my bag. My bag is not complete by any means, but even my completed bag may not look anything like yours. I go to the city often. I'm in rural areas often. I travel a lot, so some of the things that I keep you may not need. But don't worry about that. Don't try to make your bag exactly like someone else's. Make the bag where it fits you. The things that you're gonna need in your geographical area. I have lived in a lot of different places, and some of the things that I have done is I've learned, over the years. I do a 10-block radius of wherever I live at because I want to know what's there. Hospitals, stores, supermarkets, hardware stores. I want to know what's there. Now, in an urban situation, or actually any situation, water is going to be a very important thing. And that's the only thing that this bag does not have on it. It's like a place to keep a canteen or water on it. They do have one where it has that, but you lose this utility bag right here. I have no problem keeping me a bottle of water inside here. It has a deep compartment on the inside with webbing on the back. Let me see if I can get that for you. It has webbing on the back and webbing on the front. A concern that I have is bleeding. So the first aid stuff that I have would be to stop the bleed. So I keep that on me. You also want to keep a tourniquet on you as well. But this is just my EDC carry bag. This is a bag that I have with me at all times. If I don't have this bag, I have a book bag, and this stuff is in that book bag. It is imperative. Now, those of you that have vehicles, it is imperative that you have a go bag in your vehicle. Hold on. This would be considered my truck bag. This bag will have this stuff in it, or the same things there will be in this bag, but a little bit more comprehensive. It's stepped up because this bag is going to have to hold me down for 72 hours. And you're going to want that. Your truck bag should be able to hold you down for 72 hours, meaning that in this bag, I will have some form of change of clothing. Definitely another pair of socks, definitely some type of gloving, some types of gloves. And I don't just mean latex gloves. I mean like the mechanic gloves or some type of tactical gloves will be in here. I will have, maybe I have a larger knife. Maybe like something like a small machete or a Bowie knife would be in there. You see I got my ears on here. Not so much to stop loud booms, but you never know. It might be explosions going off. But so that, I can hear and communicate with, as I get closer to my home, I'll be able to communicate with either my brother or my nephew. But yeah, you gotta have your truck bag, in your vehicle. Or let's just say a vehicle bag. 'Cause I don't know whether you got truck, car, or whatever. But in your vehicle bag, you got a flashlight, larger light, thermal blanket, sweater, you know, uh, some gray man material. When I say gray man material, I mean that stuff that's just going to let you blend in with everybody else. It might not be a screaming and running situation. It just might be look, you got to evacuate this area. And having participated in 9/11, I worked midnight tours. And I was getting home, I think I got off 7:30 that morning. And, by 7:45, 8 o'clock, we had to mobilize. The governor had issued a mobilization. All hands on deck is what that means, long story short. And so there's a bag like this that I can just grab and throw on my back because I don't know how long I'm going to be gone. Have my other half put me some sandwiches together and, go to my local precinct. And by the time we got to the Brooklyn Bridge, the first tower was coming down. So we were told to stand down, stand where we are. Of course, some people didn't because they wanted to go and assist their co-workers, but everybody wasn't going to be able to go. So my position was at the Manhattan side of the Brooklyn Bridge. And from that situation and Sandy, I don't care if you work in a office building, I don't care where you work, you need to have you some type of EDC bag. And if you have a vehicle, a go bag in there. And I did see some. I'm not going to lie. I saw some people that had, go bags on them, and they had their bottled water in there. They was able to rinse off the soot off of them, or they were able to wet that napkin to wrap it around their face. These are things that you want to have, be it gas or other noxious fumes. If you got that rag in your bag, you can wet that rag, wrap it around your face to help you breathe. On top of them 3M masks that they be telling you to get. You might just want to go ahead and invest in you a gas mask. If you're in a city environment, I would strongly recommend getting you an appropriate gas mask. And when I say appropriate, you want one where it's not going to mess up your peripheral vision, but you can still breathe. And you may want to keep you 2 or 3 filters in your bag, So yeah, in a city environment, I would definitely want that because of the other things that could explode, gas stations, oil refineries. You're just breathing in a lot of toxic fumes. A lot of cities still have a lot of asbestos in some of those old buildings that may catch a fire or something. So having you a source of clean air would be very, very important. But when and where you utilize that would be a consideration too. You could be in the subway system and the train shut down, as they did, and it take you hours to get out of there, if you don't know how to get out of there, but there may be some people that know, and I would, say be guided by the professionals, but if they're not there, there are things that you should know. There's a third rail. That third rail is hot. It can electrocute you. Somebody could be stepping on it, and if they're holding on to you, you still could get it. You want to be careful about things like that. You want to know what those exit signs might look like in the subway. The yellow stairs that's going to lead you to an escape hatch, 300 feet from the entrance of a station. There's exits where you could get out. Things like that you need to know. And you could know some of this by joining a CERT unit, Civilian Emergency Response Team. Most cities have those. So you might want to look into that. But let's go back to my EDC bag. In my EDC bag, like I said, my bag is not complete, but these are some of the things that I know I'm going to need. I do keep me a monocular, so that I can look and see what's going on. I want to get me a new one, and the one that I want, it has also infrared. I would want to get me one with infrared, but this works very, very well. This has helped me out a lot, and I travel with friends sometimes, and sometimes they get lost. You go your way, I'm going mine. You want to see something I don't want to see, so I could just pop this out and just search for a little bit, and then, okay, there they go, and go and meet up with them. Definitely keep me some magazines. I would like to get me 2 extra magazines, maybe some extended magazines for mechanic CS. I told you about the pliers. Lip balm is very important, especially during cold weather in New York. I'm definitely going to want you some type of lip balm. And I keep me a little Vaseline. This is a multi-purpose tool right here. Fire, moisturizer, and other things you could use that for. I have an elevator key. I have a transit key. I have a handcuff key. Also, I had said this in another video. You might want to consider having some items that you might not want to carry on your person. The way that you travel. You have that 10-block radius. Where you could keep a safety deposit box. Not necessarily a bank, but you have places that, where you could keep a safety deposit box. And in that safety deposit box, you have some of the things that you might need. They're private and confidential, so they're very, very good to have. Opposed to trying to bury stuff where you might need to go and dig it up. But that's also an option as well. So even your locker at work, but then that could cause, problems depending upon the type of stuff that you might want to keep in there. So yeah, your identifications and everything, your little monies. Like I said, for me, there's certain things that I need, and I'm going to reiterate this. Your bag don't have to look like nobody else's. It just has to, fit and suit, your needs, depending upon where you are. And even being in the same city, you still may feel that you need some things that somebody else don't. Your bag, your EDC bag cannot be wrong. You have light, you have fire, you have medical. As long as you got those 3 things, everything else, it can't be wrong. Those 3 things are a must-have. Those are not personal preferences. Fire, medical, and light. Those 3 things are a must, because it could be broad daylight outside, but like on 9/11, when power is out and you're in a dark building, you're just in a dark building. And that's why I always would like to have on my firearm, I would like to have a light on my firearm. But I want to have it off body too, because I don't want to have to be muzzling people trying to look into an area to see, what's going on. So keep those things in tune. Like I said, fire. You want to keep you some lighters on you. I don't smoke cigarettes, so you know, but I do keep me some lighters on me. These patches don't come with the Maxpedition bag, but you could get you different patches made up to say different things, whatever you want it to say, and put it on your Maxpedition bag, and people would see that before they see anything else. But now remind yourself: are you going to be wanting to be in contact with people, or you just want to, keep moving? So keep that in mind too. Keep you some change on yourself, some loose bills in different denominations, so that if you have to barter or trade with somebody or information or whatever, maintenance man, he may have. Oh, that's another thing. Every building in New York that I've ever seen, they have these spigots on the outside of the buildings, whether it be office buildings, apartment buildings, whatever, even garages. They have these water spigots on the outside, but there's a special key that you can get from a hardware store, and you'll be able to access that water. And by having, there are different type of, you know what? There's a rope. I'm gonna do this so that you guys could see. There was a guy that showed me how to open a Johnny pump. And if you know what a Johnny pump is, that's like the fire thing that the firefighters attach to put fires out, to get water to put fires out. Usually you have to have a special wrench to get that open. But a guy showed me a trick by using a knot and rope and being able to get that open, using it just like a wrench. It was amazing. But it works, and it's a thick rope, and you have to tie a good knot in it. I'm gonna get that done so that I can pass that on to you guys, because I thought that was really something that I had never seen before, and it was very, very insightful. But yeah, these are the things that I have in my EDC bag. This is the bag that I carry every day, no matter where I'm going. These things are in this bag, and it's like super, super helpful, man. Super, super helpful. And somebody will say, why you carry all that stuff? Well, I go back to 9/11. And I go back to Sandy. Like in Sandy, if you're living in an apartment building and you're on the first and second floor, you could be absolutely, totally flooded. The second floor was flooded. I mean, I'm talking about half body waste. Now go to any building in New York City or wherever you live and think about that second floor of that building being inundated with water. That's like really, really, really scary. And this is why you have to pay attention to the news. On your phones, you can have, weather reports. So if there's bad weather coming your way, you know what it is, and take those evacuations seriously. And even if you just go into high ground, but that's something that you would want to have access to. Like if you're living in Coney Island, Brooklyn, and you need to get to higher ground, Bedford-Stuyvesant is going to be higher ground. So you should try to find friends or family members that live in those areas, or hotels that are available in those areas, to like reserve your room. Well, we got a bad storm coming, let me reserve me a room. That requires, making sure that you got that bread on hand, but yeah, you want to be prepared as much as you can for any eventuality that might occur. And again, it could be a man-made or a natural disaster that's really, really bad. I mean, I would recommend people in Coney Island, I recommend that they keep rafts, the blow-up rafts. They come in a box, probably about that size, this size right here, about that size, and once it hits water, it'll inflate. And then all you need is like a little trail motor to get, and your paddles so that you could get yourself to some type of higher ground. But you don't want to wait until that situation didn't happen. But sometimes things can happen in a flash. It could be a flash flood or whatever the case might be. But I want to tell you something. I lived in Coney Island all my life. I was born in Coney Island, and seeing the way that the water is doing now, I'm going to tell you guys, global warming is real. Global warming is real. Very rarely, if ever, did we have the Coney Island side, Surf Avenue, meet Neptune Avenue? I mean, in water, you know, even as a kid, and it was only up to your ankles. It happened before, but it was like only up to your ankles or to halfway your shin. But now you're talking about the second floor in an apartment building. That's a huge difference. That's a huge difference, man. You're talking about 19, 20 feet of water, if not deeper. 25, 30 feet of water. 25 to 30 feet of water. Man, it's time to start paying attention to things like that. And just in the event, chance favors the prepared mind. Chance favors the prepared mind. So be prepared, of those eventualities that might happen, and know what happens in your area. You know, where it has flooded before, where has it never flooded before? Is it starting to flood here now? Those are considerations you make, especially when you're starting to talk about residency or evacuation. I hope that this has been helpful to you guys. Again, this is my Maxpedition uh, uh, everyday bag, my EDC bag, and this would be my truck bag. Everything that I have in this bag will be a little bit more comprehensive in this bag. Just like in my bug out bag, that bag will be a whole lot more comprehensive than this bag. Meaning I will have more fire, more clothing, more shelter, and, just more of what I may need. So consider those things. And also like dry crackers, and water is definitely in there. Like I said, I'll keep a bottle of water in here, inside here, because there's nothing to keep it in. And this one also comes with a camel pack in the back, so I could do the camel pack, or I could just put me, a 2-liter bottle of water on the inside. So keep those things in mind. Hit me below and let me know about, your bag and how you choose to carry. And do you feel the necessities of an EDC bag or a truck bag? And I'll talk to you guys later. Y'all be safe out there, man.